What's up, YouTube? This is Let's Talk Horror Movies here, bringing you guys a Blu-ray update for the month of February. This is the stuff I picked up in February. I didn't get anything in January. And sorry for no full videos lately. Been working. I know I didn't get I did do a Scream short. I possibly will do a Scream 7 review, but we'll have to wait until the weekend. But I'll definitely try to get the Bride review up, a Dolly review. I'm definitely going to make shorts on those. I'll make sure to get a couple reviews out, full reviews during the weekend. But yeah. So I picked up some stuff. It's about like 9 titles. I do have 2 pre-orders on the way. One is coming towards the 17th, and one is has not been announced. Probably an April release date, I'm thinking, because the digital release for the movie is coming out in March. It was released on March 6th. So, and usually it's like, I think digital releases are like about a month apart away from the physical release. So let's get started. So this is all eBay stuff. First thing I picked up was The Carpenter's Son. This stars Nicolas Cage, Noah Jupe, and F.K. Twigs. This is the horror version of the birth of Jesus and with Joseph and Mary, and Jesus as a teenager, and it's about his son, about Jesus kind of getting gets lured into temptation while also learning what he is, what he's able to do. It's a slow burn, but it's visually it's impressive at moments. It's gross at times. I'm impressed by the performances, especially by Noah Jupe as tech. On the cover it says Mary, Joseph, and Jesus, but they are not called that in the movie. He's the boy. And so I think he does a really good job. I really liked F.K. Twigs as the mother. I think she does a really good job for how much she's on screen. I liked her in The Crow, so I'm probably one of the few people that do like her as an actress, which I hope she does more stuff. Nicolas Cage as the Carpenter, aka Joseph. I think he's solid, but I think it does feel. I don't know if he's, it's Nicolas Cage doing his Nicolas Cage thing, not like high, but it's right in the middle of that, and it's not a love it or hate it. It's like I said, solid. It's not one of my standout performances of his. But I think it's done really well. I think also a good performance is the character of the stranger, which is the one that tries to lure in the boy Jesus, and that does a really good job, because what that character has to portray, the actor has to portray, is menacing and being able to seduce, and it's really an interesting take. Again, this is not going to be for everyone, and if you're kind of the religious aspect, I probably would stay away from this movie, because you're not gonna, unless you're open-minded to that. It's hard, like it's not gonna be for you. So if you're religious, any kind of sense, like very seriously, this is definitely not a movie for you. Just noting. But I did enjoy it. Would give it a 4 out of 5 just for the visual, the cinematography, the direction. I think the performances are good. I think it's an interesting film, even if it's not like a must. I think it takes chances in that, and it's if it's one of those type of movies, I feel like. But next thing, so now this is a interesting thing I picked up, or would I say interesting? I don't know, but But it's a movie from 2008, I believe, or 2010. I think it was 2010. 2008. So I do collect a lot of bad movies. Um, I mean, subjectively, like, or I guess you would say objectively, it's bad movies. Like a lot of the spoof movies, like the only like, or some of the spoof movies that people don't like, I collect those because some of them you're surprised to even have a Blu-ray release. Like two of the bigger, I think it's Date Movie and Epic Movie are the two of the few that do not have a Blu-ray release. They only have DVD releases. So example, so I'll still have those in the collection because it's like, again, you'd be surprised how movies tend to go up in price or like will go out of print. Now some of these won't go out of print, but this one I saw that was kind of actually out of print. If you go to Amazon to buy it brand new, it's like $28. And I didn't see other, unless you probably get it used or something like that. And on eBay, I think it's like $5 to $8 depending, but there's shipping to it. So it's still, and that's for used or pre-owned, and that is Mike Myers The Love Guru. I got this for about $13 brand new on eBay. With and that's without tax. So it probably was like $15. I know, why would I pick, again, if it, to me, like, this was kind of more of like, oh, it's an out of print title, but you're not going to buy through Amazon. I was going to buy through eBay, and I wanted to buy it sealed, because I, like, with Blu-rays, like, unless if it had a slipcover and there was no, and it was, like, wasn't sealed, I would have done it, but since it's one of those movies that doesn't have a slipcover. But this is considered Mike Myers' worst film, worse than Cat in the Hat. And I've tried watching it a few times and haven't finished it. I don't even know, like, I remember I had a review on Letterboxd for it, but I really want to go in and actually be more fair in terms of, like, I don't want to review it after watching 5 minutes or something, or just assuming it's bad. Like I said, I've watched about at least half an hour of the movie, and I know what it is. But it was just something, like, it's one of those, like, I have Cat in the Hat, which is, to me, what I would say, based on what I've seen from both of those films, I prefer Cat in the Hat. I think that tries to be a better movie, but tries to have a story. This one is not like that, but, I mean, and you have a good surprising cast in here. But the biggest takeaway, is because how big of a fart and dick and piss, like, that kind of joke, that kind of humor. But yeah, this is pretty much what killed his career, pretty much. Like, Cat in the Hat in this really did not do him any favors. And if you know behind the scenes stuff with Mike Myers, he is difficult. Well, and Cat in the Hat is pretty difficult. But yeah, there's some Mike Myers and Love Guru inside look, one hell of an elephant, hockey training for actors, deleted and extended scenes, bloopers, back in the booth with Trent and Jay, outtakes, more, and theatrical trailer. It is so crazy that trailers are still considered special feature. Like, okay, so now the rest are 4K releases. Got this movie called Altered with Tom Felton. This one I recently saw. Amazon posted about it, or I saw something post about this. It's directed by Timo Varensola. He also wrote it. He's the director of the Iron Sky films and the director of Jeepers Creepers Reborn, which he did not write. I'll say that for right now. But this actually was a lot better than I didn't watch a trailer or anything. I just went in this with the open mind, and for what I got out of it, I liked it was nice seeing Tom Felton in a lead role again. It's set in a dystopian Earth, where an alternate present where genetic enhancement became the norm. So normal people are like they're trying to distinguish them. They're trying to get rid of they're the low people. If you're normal, not with any enhancements, and you have the main protagonist played by Tom Felton, and he has someone else working with him to start a revolutionary to stop or they're trying to steal and but in a way stop what's going on. uh it's definitely interesting. I like the concept. The dialogue is definitely with certain characters more of the genetics. The people, the higher power, are the ones that feel kind of weird in terms of dialogue. Now you also have Richard Brake, who's in the film as well, plays Tom Felton's dad, actually. Um, I thought that was cool to see him in here. So, I think for a movie, apparently, I think the budget was this for $15 million, and for what it was, not too bad. I think some of the fighting could have been a little bit more. Um, Actually, no, the fighting was pretty decently choreographed for what this movie is. Is it going to get you out of the like for a lower budget type of film that's trying to add, you're trying to, they're trying to do something new or something different in the genre. I think the concept is cool. I think they could have went an R rating. There's certain sequences that you could have easily saw R rating here, but I don't know if that was if there was a purpose for that, but I would give it a shot. If you could find it if it's on streaming, I would give it a shot. I don't think this is a 4K, and I got it for it's part of a deal, so I got it for $17. So, next we got Silent Night, Deadly Night remake. Well, on the altered 4K, there's no special features, so. But yeah, the Silent Night, Deadly Night remake from Mike P. Nelson, written and directed by Mike P. Nelson. Yeah, this was awesome. I saw it one time in theater, so I definitely wanted to pick this one up. I love the cast here. I think I only had one issue. Like the only issue is the middle. There's that really that bar. There's that big action set piece in the middle of the film. But I wish they could have went a bit harder on that. But I think it still gives you enough what you want. Performances from Rohan Campbell, and I love what they added, what the lore to this film, instead of doing the same thing as the first one, but they add something here that I thought was very fascinating and makes you really root for Billy in his love interest in this film. I think that's what really makes that. Now, some will say that may defeat the purpose, or it's not as interesting. I think that's more interesting because, to be honest, I seen the original one time, and it's one that I don't like. It's all right, but I think this is the better of the two. Oh, and then the remake before was Silent Night, which I think is also still cool, but it's more of that actually more different. Is not as close to what this is, closer to the original than that remake was, but I think this and the actually other remake I have higher than the original. It's kind of crazy to think about, but I would definitely recommend this one if you have not checked it out. It does have one special. It has two special features: Silent Night, Deadly Night. I'm wrapping a new legacy, and a trailer. Next, this is an upgrade to 4K. This is one I was in the mood to rewatch, and I decided to order it, and that is the Spawn 4K. Has the director's cut and the theatrical cut. All the special features are on the director's cut on the 4K. So, but yeah, this one obviously is nostalgia. I watched this a few times because I got the VHS. And I know we've been hearing about that King Spawn movie, which was the title was announced at some point in 2024, and then we had updates last year, but we have not had an update, and it's going through Blumhouse. I mean, it was originally, Jamie Foxx was cast, and Todd McFarlane was going to write and direct, but obviously that changed throughout the years because I don't think anyone wanted to take a chance on him doing it. And the way he wanted to go about it was more of like what the animated series was, and I think some studios were not into that idea. Is it that it was risky, but I get what they were going for. Um, but I think visually this is still pretty impressive what they were trying to go for at the time, especially on a $40 million budget. Look, a lot of it, like the hell stuff especially, doesn't hold up, but it's still a kind of a still a dark, gritty film, though the director's cut is R-rated. Michael J. White, I think, as L. Simmons Spawn, I think is cool, and his makeup looks really great. John Leguizamo as the clown, though, is just such a iconic, and he just made that his own. You have Martin Sheen, Teresa Randall, though, D.B. Sweeney. The thing that really hurts this film is the motivation of Spawn, Al, of getting back to Wanda. You don't get a lot of their relationship stuff outside of backstory, out of flashbacks, and from what Michael J. White has said, that is that they cut stuff out, obviously, to fit in more of the action stuff, and so they took out character stuff, which it's hard for you to build up that relationship with Al and Teresa. They don't even give them a moment at the end of the film, really, or at least saying that Al are kind of like, I think I just rewatched it. There's kind of something, but it's not even like it's me or kind of thing. Like, and would that have been cheesy? Sure, but I think you still wanted to give Al them some kind of a closure right there, because ultimately he's not going to obviously he's gonna he's still gonna be Spawn. He's not gonna be able to go back to that life. But you still wanted that kind of closure kind of thing. Unless they were planning on them, like, for sequels, that they were still gonna be around kind of thing. I don't know. But yeah, this is still a cool film. Again, you wish some things were different. The look of Spawn is badass. I mean, I'm excited to see another Spawn movie. It's like, it's insane how long it's taken for this to happen. Hopefully something happens soon in terms of production. This also came with a poster and a booklet, and it has a side. If you have the original DVD or the director's cut, like, it has Spawn on him, so like just of him. That's actually a full blow shot. That's the cover set, the other cover. This has a bunch of special features. Has audio commentary with it's a new audio commentary with comic book expert podcast host Dave Baxter, audio commentary from Tom McFarlane. Hell's Son, Perfect Son, a new interview with Michael J. White, Melinda Clark, D.B. Sweeney, The Devil's in the Details, new animatronic creature with Greg Nicotero and stuff like that. The Making of Spawn, old stuff. So I would definitely recommend checking this out. Like, if you're a fan of this, it's nice to have a good release as Spawn, as like a 4K. It's really cool. So these next are like 4 of the newer releases I finally decided I need to pick up on, that I wanted to add in my collection. We got Him. This one I really liked. I know this was disappointing for a lot of people. It's very, it's an artistic visual film. I think both Tarek Weathers and Marlon Wayans kill it on the film. Visually, it's beautiful. It's stunning. Bloody. It's what I was looking for. And because also the aspect of football mixing horror, like, I want to see what that does. I watched it twice in theaters. I definitely needed a rewatch of this film. I definitely I really liked this concept. Includes an alternate ending. I think I've seen it. Plus deleted end credit scene and more. Black Phone 2, easily one, definitely my top 10 of last year. Um, this is my preferable of the two films because, I mean, it has the mix of the Nightmare on Elm Street. It has that supernatural. The atmosphere, the cinematography. The when you go into like the dreams or into the flashbacks, the grainy, just makes it feel raw and gritty. Just like so good, and you love the cast. Mason Thames, coming back, as Finn. You got Madeline McGraw coming back as Gwen, who's now having the thing that her mother's having. She's now getting involved. They're going like, it's just such a and then seeing Ethan Hawke again in this role, but in a much more supernatural way. It's just so cool. It's dark. It's blood. It's pretty violent. And how creative and how they use it. But again, like in the snow, it's just such an atmospheric movie that it's just you're just so in awe. I loved it. So I definitely would recommend this one. This is like I said, this is my favorite of the two. I hope we get a third one. Does it need a third one? Maybe not, but I think there's more to be had because I think there's still there's the tease, but we'll see where it goes. Bonus features, deleted scenes, dialed in, the cast of Black Phone 2, a story carved in ice, and more. Next, probably the biggest surprise that I wasn't sure, and it's obviously because they are not, it wasn't R-rated. Predator Badlands. Now, when it got PG-13, you get a little frustrated. My biggest fear wasn't because it was PG-13 ultimately, because I understood what the story was going for. There's no human, so there's no need. You can't be R-rated unless it's human blood. My biggest fear is that the studio is going to want to do this again because how well it did. Oh, we can get away with Predator being PG-13 from now on. It's like, no, the reason you were able to do that is because what the story was and that there was no humans. But this was still great. I got to see this in 40X. Holy shit, this was such a fun time. This was so damn good. Like, you're following a young predator who has to, who's outcast from his clan. Now he has to find this creature to destroy it, and he ends up having to team up with Thea, who's an android. Not android, I forget what the synthetic, which is also ties into the Alien franchise because of the company Wayland, and they work really great chemistry visually. It's still violent as hell, because you still see alien guts and stuff like that. I know it's not the same, but Ellie Fanning does a great job. Demetrius Schuster Kolomatagi, who plays Deck, does a great job with the emotion and being able to physically, and it's just, and I love that, he speaks in his language, and then Thea can translate and gives us that view, and then it's just visually, it's just really cool. Cinematography, it's outstanding. Dan Trachtenberg really did a really great job, was able to make a movie like this where the Predator is your main protagonist, which a lot of people would think is really weird and doesn't fit the Predator franchise, but it really works. But you can still do other stories that are, you could still have this friend, like you could have this tie into where you could have Deck as your good guy Predator, but you still have obviously bad Predators, so it's not one or the other. You could do both, and I think you could still have him being an R-rated Predator film that's where they're we're dealing with humans. But again, when you're in the situation we're not dealing with humans, I get it being PG-13, so it can work. So, but yeah, so it definitely was a great experience. I really loved it. Embodying the Predator, synthetics, building the Badlands, embodying the Predators, meet the artists as they bring one of the most terrifying creatures to life on screen. Authentic synthetics join. It describes crafting our two characters, building the Badlands. Audio commentary, deleted pre-visual scenes. with audio commentary. Oh yeah, Ellie also plays the villain as well. The antagonist, synthetic. She's not as interesting, I think, because they don't give her. She's in the movie a decent amount, but she just feels too like generic as a villain. But outside of that, I have no complaints. Would highly recommend. And last but not least, Five Nights at Freddy's 2. I enjoyed this. As someone I have never played the games, and I went in open mind with the first one, and I really dug it. I liked the concept. And this one I did the same. I went to a packed theater, and holy shit, it was packed, and it was insane because people were just rowdy in a good way, except for like one situation where because this guy keeps on saying, hell yeah, fuck yeah, and then this one guy, like right across, like right a seat away from me, it's like, shut the hell up already, like, because he was like, some people I think were kind of getting tired of, but outside of that, like, it was a good time. I think this is better than the first one. It does go deeper. I think it's a darker elements here, especially the open sequence, and you have the marionette fucking thing. That thing is creepy as that shit was creepy as fuck. But yeah, this is I know a lot of people were not fans of this, and I understand this is, again, and that's also coming from people who weren't fans of the game. But as someone who didn't know about the game, I just went in and tried to have a good time, and I like the lore building. I think that's another thing is people don't understand, like, with the lore and how, like, fans know this, like, know what they're coming into. I think a lot of people who don't are kind of like, and maybe their choices, how they handle things, maybe certain things. Is it the best written script? No, but and again, I think there's also a thing where you could easily have made an R-rated version of this, have it be R-rated, where you could have some decently kills. But again, to me, like, those games weren't R-rated, like, they were rated T. So to me, they're not meant to be kind of gore films. Again, we get frustrated when movies, we go from R-rated to PG-13. I don't want to be the same way, where it's like, oh, this has to be R-rated because even if it feels like you definitely could make R-rated, and we kind of did that with Willy's Wonderland, but you don't have to do it with Five Nights at Freddy's, especially since that the core audience are teens, and the games I think are all rated T, which is not meant to be R-rated. It's not a mature game. So to me, I think you can be creative in the way you show death. Like in the first one, they do something really, like cutting that girl in half, where she's being in, and you can hear it, and you're just like, oh shit, that's pretty intense, even for PG-13, I think. So yeah, overall, but special features: Employee of the Month, the cast, Bring Freddy and Friends to Life, Mangle Mayhem, High Strung, Hanging with the Marionette, Sensory Overload, Exploring the Sets. That's it for the month of February. I hope I do plan on picking up some more stuff in the future. We'll see I already got, technically, we'll have at least one this month. So we'll see. I probably won't post a video if it's only that one. So I'll see what else I'll be picking up in this month, if anything. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is Let's Talk Horror Movies, signing off. Peace.